Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole. Hello and welcome to Unshakable with Human Design. I'm your host, Nicole, and I am so happy to be here with our second episode with this new show title, this new vibe, this new direction. So I'm so happy to be here with you on this Monday. These episodes, I really like to make them short and sweet, so I'm going to do my best to do that. But this episode is going to be about kind of my experience with something, and I feel like real world examples really help to drive these concepts home for you. And that's my goal here with the show, is how can you see these at work? And we tell you to do a lot of things with human design, are telling you to do things that are contrary to common knowledge, contrary to the way that we think things should or will work. So it takes a lot of faith to surrender to your design. But I want to give as many examples as I can of how this works so that it makes you feel more comfortable surrendering to your design and seeing how this changes your life and changes everything with the way that you operate, the way that you feel, the results that you get. So I'm going to share an experience from my life because I think that this will help. And it was in response. So I was hit with it, and I was like, this is a great thing to share on the show. On top of that, I record 2 podcast episodes a week. This is just sort of icing on the cake of response. I'm a manifesting generator, so I'm here to respond and inform and then act. So I record 2 podcast episodes a week. That's a lot of what am I going to talk about? And I could sit here and I could think about it, and I could write down notes, and I could say, I'm going to talk about this, and maybe I could talk about this, or maybe I'll poll my audience, or I'll look through these things and I'll see if there's a topic there. But that never really works. And those typically are not the episodes that really anybody enjoys or gets the most out of. The ones that we get the most feedback on, the ones that I hear people say were so impactful for them, and the ones that ultimately get the most listens are the ones that were aligned, the ones where I was in response to something and I brought it to you. So this is in response to the way that I was handling this. This was this situation that I was in. I did not know what I would talk about on this episode that I was trying to figure out. And rather than sitting here and trying to figure it out, I lived my life, engaged with my business. And then I was given this topic through following my own strategy and my own authority and my own design. And I was like, oh, this is a podcast episode. So not only did I get what I needed in the bigger way, but I also got the podcast episode that I was trying to quote unquote figure out and understand what I was going to talk about. So this is how life starts to get easier. So before we start, we are relaunching this podcast. We are in the process of that, getting this out there as a full-fledged human design podcast. So if you love this show, I would love for you to join our relaunch team. Go to nicolelano.me / podcast links. And there's a link up there. I forgot what we called the other, something big. That's what it is. Sorry. nicolelano.me / something - big. Okay, so that's the link for that. You can also go to nicolelano.me / podcast links, and all of our links that relate to the show, free resources, master classes, the relaunch team, whatever we have going on at the time, that's a page that we set up so you guys can always stay up to date with what's happening with us. So you can always go to that page and just see if we have something new. And that's where we put all of our links. So you can go over there and check that out and join the relaunch team, because we have prizes that we're giving away. We have extended this where we're going to have through the 14th of April, you can be sharing about the show, and we'll send you information on how you can be sharing, the ways that you share and the ways that you get points. You rack up points, and then the people with the most points get prizes. There are 5 prizes available, including a 1-to-1 90-minute reading with me. So you're getting a free HD reading with me if you are the person who shares the most and who is putting us out there the most. So please go and check that out. Join the relaunch team and get all the details on how you can enter to win all of those cool prizes. So lots of fun things there. Without further ado, let's talk about this episode. Let's get into how strategy always provides. how design saves me and saves the day every single time if you're paying attention to it. If you know how the machine works and the machine is you, then you can figure out how to fix it when it's broken. You can figure out how to tune it so that it can perform better. But you can't do that if you don't know how it works. So this is where the contemplation, the experimentation, and learning how you work matters and where it pays off. And it isn't just strategy and authority, the core. But I'm going to talk to you about some of the other elements of my design that help me to really tune in and deepen this, okay? So if you're not in total zen with your business and with your life, then you've probably experienced things like questioning the avenues you could go down. What offers should I create? Should I change this offer? What price should I price it at? Who is my ICA, my ideal client, my soulmate client? Who are they? What do they do? What would they like? What would they pay for? And we ask those questions, and they're good questions to ask. You're putting them out in the universe. But what most of us do is and myself included, before I found human design, I would think about them. I'd journal about it. I'd think about it. I would ask people about it. And I would have all of this time spent trying to figure it out. And I want to share my recent experience, my very recent experience I had with exactly this. So going through, there are some things in my business that I know need to shift. There's some things so we did some things, and we have been very, very busy. I have a lot going on at the moment. My schedule is more packed than I normally like it to be. It's all good things. We're very busy. It's a good problem to have. These are champagne problems. But I'm looking at it and I'm saying, what needs to change? What needs to change? How can I turn the volume up over here? How can I get more people into these programs? Or is there something else that needs to be created over here? I'm asking these questions all the time. And I'm asking myself how I can serve better. And I'm asking myself how I can serve myself better. There's always ways that I'm looking to improve. Lord, I'm a 5-line. I'm always looking to improve something. I'm looking to fix something. I'm always looking at how can this be more efficient. Okay. So I have a lot going on at the moment. Now I could be fretting about these things, thinking about them. And to tell you the truth, that's where I go at first. Now, for those of you who have been listening to the show for a long time, you know that my conscious sun, or you've probably heard that my conscious sun is in gate 64. Then gate 64 is the gate of confusion. Literally everything in the world enters into my mind through confusion. My conscious earth is doubt. Confusion and doubt, confusion and doubt. I spend a little bit of time here. I spend way less time here than I used to. It used to be something, and that used to be something that I would get tied up in for a really long time. It was debilitating at times because my head center and my ajna are also open. So my head center, my conscious sun and conscious earth being in an open center means that I have even less control over them, and they might have more susceptibility to go into shadow. So, but I know this about myself, and I have worked with this, and I have contemplated this, and I have learned to love it and not wish it was something different. Things come through confusion. They don't stay there. They only stay there if I try to fix it and I try to get out of the confusion and I take the bait and I go down and I'm trying to fix things. And this is me using all of my energy incorrectly. My 5-line wants to fix it. My 64 wants to figure it out and get out of the confusion. And my conditioning wants to initiate something new. I want to change it. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Can I do this? Maybe I should put this out. I don't want to lose any time. All wrong. All wrong for me. All will get me more either of the same things that I don't want or actually tank my results. I've actually seen that happen where I've done more damage than good with doing more. So what did I do? I did talk to some people. There are people that I have in my life. I have coaches. I have a mentor. I have friends, and kind of talk through my situation just so I get things to respond to. But then I leave it alone. And I said, I had a day where I was walking around and I had a full day, and there was that conditioned part of me that was like, you should be figuring this out. I can't believe you have, Wednesdays are normally an open day for me, or pretty open. They're my day to kind of work through my stuff. And I had calls and I had things, really good ones, but I had things that I had bumped my own time in order to do these things. They were great, but it's just not part of my normal schedule. And there was part of me just like, you shouldn't have given up your time. This is going to be a much less productive day than it could be. This is your day to relax. This is your day to open up. And true, I did need the time to kind of decompress a little bit. It's been very busy, but I was like, no, I'm going to trust that all of these things ended up on here because I responded. I'm going to trust that I'm not going to try to figure this out, that these are actually somehow the best thing for me right now. Being alone in my room trying to figure something out is exactly the wrong thing for me to do. I should be talking to people. I should be talking to the right people who came to me through response, people who came to me through recognizing my fifth line, people who came into my world in a correct way, and they ended up on my calendar. I'm going to trust they're here for a reason. I'm going to trust that this is all here for a reason. Because I didn't muscle my way to this calendar. I really did answer and say, and put these here. So I'm going to trust. And I hopped on those calls and I went through, I had podcast interviews, and then I had something else. I had a training in the morning. I had a few other things happening, but all interacting with people about exactly the topics I was trying to figure out, right? And so many of the answers became clear. That got me out of confusion. That shifted me into the gift of my 64th gate, which is imagination. That shifted me into actually providing illumination, which is the city, providing that for other people. I was living in that for a few moments. And I got out of it being like, I still felt like I needed time, but I was like, but it's not time to figure it out now. It's just time to implement. So I have different problems now than I used to have. And this was just such a beautiful example. I was like, this is strategy and authority helping me every time. So I got these things to respond to. I got some answers. Now I sit with them because there's the other part of me that's like, okay, now let's go initiate these things. And then there's the smarter part of me saying, you are an emotional authority. Hang out with these. Just sit with them. I don't think about them. I sit with them. Let me feel into it. Let me feel what feels correct for me. Let me just hang with these for a minute and let them be there in my energy, and let me see where I land on them. Some may just go away. Some may be like, no, that's not it. But others, it might be like, yeah, let's do this. So I wanted to share this with you because in the old way, I would have pushed. In the old way, I would have probably just locked myself in a room and tried to figure everything out. I would have gotten super stressed, and I would have felt frustrated, and I would have kept going, and I would have gotten more frustrated, and that would have gotten me further and further away from the answers. And what normally would have happened, because it did happen in the past, was I would get frustrated. I would push through the frustration. I'd come up with an answer out of just like, something has to come out of this. I've got to get it done. I would choose something. I would move spontaneously. I'd be like, now I have to move quickly because I'm in such desperate energy and I'm so frustrated that it really feels like I have to move fast. Now I'm in my open root center, just being like, we got to get this done so we can relieve the pressure. We got to get it done. We got to get it done. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Operating totally out of conditioning. And then what did I do? Now I'm off running in a whole other direction. And I would be creating something, building something, launching something, selling something that isn't really aligned, and giving my power away to that. And ultimately giving my power away to the lack and the feeling of lack and the feeling of fear. Like the idea wouldn't come if I waited. Like space was not the answer, that it was just to go, 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 go. And I've had that happen, and I've had results that have gone down significantly from me acting out of that place. And what happens here Like I made sales yesterday without doing anything. Some of those things that I was responding to, people were booking things with me. People have booked sales calls with me. I was doing my thing. I was showing up, being who I am, being my 5-1, being an expert in my topic, responding, showing up, being who I am, being completely authentically who I am. And money came in that day. Money rolled in immediately. Prospects for money rolled in immediately. And I got clarity on the things that I was confused by. Problems were solved in a way that didn't necessarily make sense. In a way that my mind was telling me was not correct. So I wanted you guys to see that. I wanted you to see how this operation works. And it works this way no matter what type of human design type you are. This is how it works. But you have to surrender to that process. You have to surrender, because if I'm not paying attention to the responses, if I had gone into any of those meetings, interviews, training sessions, any of them carrying the energy of, I don't want to be here, I'm frustrated, I need to figure this out, I'm afraid I won't get the answer. If I'd carried any of that energy in, I wouldn't have been authentically me. I wouldn't have been the highest expression of myself. Money would not have come in. Money may not have come in. Prospects might not have come in. The answers may have not come in, because the people would have been completely different in reacting to me. They would have given me different things if I had shown up differently. This is where the energetic game comes in. This is how you play it. And human design actually gives you a process to play the energetic game, rather than you just trying to figure out how to work some invisible force within you. The mechanics are given to you in human design, and I just want to show you how surrendering to them can give you the results that you want in a way that you didn't think you could get them. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it's helpful to hear these, and tell me what you think. Let me know what you think. Share this on Instagram. Join the relaunch team first, so you get credit for sharing this on Instagram. Share this on Instagram and tag me. I'm at Nicole Official, and tell us why you loved the episode. Tell everybody about this new incarnation of the show, what you love about it, what you love about human design, and please just help us spread the word so that we can get human design into the hands and lives of more people and make more aligned people and more aligned businesses. I am so grateful to you. I am so grateful to every single person who listens to this show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a listener of this show. I hope to see you in one of our containers very soon. Join our Human Design for Entrepreneurs Facebook group. It is free. I hope to meet you over there. In the meantime, we will see you in the next episode. Go out there and be unshakable, everyone. If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to NicoleLano.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.